Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. So we've got another unboxing video. It's effectively the same as the last one, but not the same colours. And I'd just like to say that both the previous box of orchids and this box of orchids have actually been paid for by Buy Me a Coffee donations. So for the two people who donated the two large amounts, thank you very much. And in theory there's possibly enough left over to maybe get something on Sunday when we get to the international show at Birmingham. We shall see. But that's what these donations are all about. They feed back into here. So very grateful, thank you very much. I just like to, feed back on those sort of things when they happen. Right, the box is down here. I'll adjust the camera accordingly and we'll see what we've got. That should be okay. Right, so a repeat of last time then. Stick this up here, then we can don't bother with that. If I just take that off. And we can get the individual parcels out and get in the box. Right, there we go. Now the choices on the 4 mini phals package are Lucky Dip, which is what we had last time, whites, which will be a 4 white Phalaenopsis. They'd probably all be different in some way, but basically white, and then pinks and purples, which is the one I selected this time. We had a wet patch here, we had a bit of an accident with the humidifier. I didn't say accident, I just put too much water in it and it objected and spilled out. Got the elastic band, didn't I? The idea of this is quite a good idea actually. You put the wrap on and then you gather it together tight round the top of the pot and put an elastic band round. Effectively that holds the majority of the bark in the pot without having to do anything extra. So it's quite a good idea. Never known anyone else do that. I must admit. Right, now this one is effectively the same as the purple one that we had last time. I hope I don't actually get two the same in here. I hope that all 4 are different. But yes, this is very, very pale pink as a background. Oh, I suppose I could hold it up to the camera. Very pale pink as a background to the individual blooms, with the sort of purple markings and a purple lip with some yellow in the centre. So, and this has got 2 spikes. One is branching, the other one isn't, but it looks like it's got the buds to do so. It's just got a little tiny branch there. So, and plenty of buds still to come. This is what we like. I was a little bit worried that because these were reduced, that most of the blooms were going to be over, but I can see probably why they might have been reduced. This has had a spike taken off. So this originally was 3 spikes, because when they produce these, when they come into bloom, they sell. So they don't keep them to rebloom them. That doesn't happen. They would probably put them in the skip rather than do that, because they cost money to keep. So that's the first one then. Right, let's see what we've got next then. As I said, I hope we've got 4 different ones, even if they're only slightly different, that would be good. Actually, I think I'm going to cut down towards the pot. And this one looks exactly the same. Well, I got them for a splash of colour in the grow room, and even if they're the same, if they're on opposite sides of the grow room, it'll still work, won't it? So. There we go then. I would say that's the same as the one we've just had. This one has got 3 spikes. All with branches, and the main spikes have still got buds to open. So these are going to last a nice long time, but those 2 are the same. See what's next then. Just going to cut up to the top of the pot this time. Each time I do this, I think of something different to do to make it easier. Well, at least this one's different. This is what I was hoping. This one's got a new leaf coming into vegetative growth. This one's also quite dry. The other 2 were quite damp. Right, so 2 spikes here, and one that's coming into growth. Good roots again. The other 2, let's just go back. We didn't really look at the roots, did we? I suspect they'll be okay. And that's not an extensive root system, but there's plenty of roots and at least 1 active growing tip. So roots are okay. Roots are okay. This one should be roughly the same. Yes, not an extensive root system, but certainly enough to keep the plant going. That's that one. And then we're on to this one, huge big aerial root that's actually damaged, so that can come off. Don't panic, it'll manage without it. There's plenty more roots here. Now this is a good root system on this one, extensive root system, yeah. And 2 spikes, one with a branch, one without, and blooms on this. Let's see if I can get some blooms to point directly at the camera. That's probably the best one. So there we go, different to the previous 2, and a nice shade of purple with some very delicate markings and a purple lip. So that's that one. The next one. See what we got here. this one's the same as the one we've just looked at, so we've only got two different types here for the looks of it, which I must admit I would have expected more than two types, but when you've only paid £5, which is literally what I paid, £20 with free shipping, which makes these £5 each. You can't really go wrong with that, can you? Even if the paper doesn't want to come off. Just put the pot down. This paper that they use has got stripes on it in its makeup, and that's the way it tears. It doesn't want to tear the other way. So it wants to tear around rather than up and down, which makes it rather difficult to play with. Yes, so this one's the same as the previous one. Two spikes. One with a branch, one without, and some buds still to open. So, and again, nice little plant, plenty of roots. Yeah. Now, I've got a couple of dead aerial roots there, which I will take straight off. There's no point in leaving them; they won't. You know, they're no use. That's those. Any others anywhere we need to nip? There's one there. So they just make the plants look untidy, really. They're not doing any harm. Yes, so those are the four. As I said, at £5 each. The thing that's good about these is the health of the individual plants, rather than the blooms. These are healthy Phalaenopsis plants. They've got good leaves, bright, firm, no floppiness, so they're hydrating well. This one's got a new leaf coming. So these are healthy Phalaenopsis, unlike some of the ones you get from the mass producers in the EU that are feeling quite sorry for themselves by the time you get hold of them. These have just come down the road, literally. The nursery is about 6.5 miles away, maybe 7 at a pinch. Depends which way I go, really. I'm pleased with those. You know, in actual fact, I'm not sure these two are the same, because put them next to each other. Does this one look darker to you? Possibly. But anyway, I mean, you know, if you look at this plant, it's got 2 branches here, 2 branches here, and a spike with no buds open. So we won't be repotting that, will we? And on that subject, somebody did suggest, I was going to go down that road anyway, that I repot one to see what we've got inside the pot, because certainly the large one that I got at our show that came from here had a plug pot in the centre, as is often the case, but instead of being seriously compacted moss, it was a strange substance that felt like sponge, a fibrous material, and wasn't breaking down. It was still okay. Now, it was incredibly wet, so it holds a lot of moisture, which meant that being in the middle of the pot, those roots that were in it, if any, would be destined to die a lot sooner than any others, yeah? But there were plenty of others to take their place. Now, I don't know, because these are mini phals, these might be done differently, but I suspect they will have that plug inside them. And the plan is that they will stay in these pots until such time as the spikes are virtually over, at which point we will repot them. I'm happy that even if there is a plug in the middle of these pots, that a root system like that is going to survive almost whatever you do. Apart from possibly standing it in water. But the fact that the pots do contain a mix of bark and cocoa chunks, watering will be done carefully, and watering will probably be done by pouring the water around the edge of the pot rather than soaking it absolutely like I would if I knew the whole pot contained bark. I'd be happy to pour water all over it if it was just bark. But with that will hold a bit more moisture, and if it's got a plug in the middle, that will hold even more. So it won't get, these won't get given quite so much water as they will once they're repotted. So there we go, 4 new ones, so we shall want 4 trays. Stop the drips, and that one's wet enough. That one needs watering. Now I've actually got a tiny drop of water here that I've just finished watering the mounts. That's what I mean. I don't know whether that's actually on camera, probably not. But it's just a trickle around the edge of the pot. And now that my parcel's arrived, I can go out and sort my RO unit out, because I had to just turn it off. Because I need to spend time out there filling the containers from the large, what used to be the Vander bucket. And I couldn't spend the time outside because I needed to hear the postman Pat arrive. So I can go and finish off playing with the RO unit now. That's plenty wet enough, and that one's starting to dry but not yet. So there we go. Now all I've got to do is find some spaces for them and spread the colour around so that they've got a little splash of colour in various places where there isn't any at the moment. That's the plan. And I'm not going to make these part of the series. The series is the original 4. These are just extras. Yeah. The series with 8 plants in it will get too clumsy. Yeah. It'll take too long to go through and deal with them. So we'll stick with the original 4 and monitor their progress, follow their repots and what happens afterwards. You know, all that sort of stuff, and we'll just keep it going. And I will bear in mind any videos that I do on those 4. I will bear in mind that I do have beginners watching. I don't forget them, but I tend to try and drag them along away from thinking of themselves as a beginner. If you've had orchids a couple of years and they're still alive, you're doing okay. I mean, I've known several very good growers when talking about Phalaenopsis. Oh, I can't grow those, I just kill them. And yet they've just won Best in Show with perhaps one of their giant cotyledons, or you know, a huge dendrobium or something, and yet they can't grow Phalaenopsis. So they're not necessarily easy. They can be with the right conditions and knowledge, you know, to supply reasonable conditions. So there we go, 4 more, and I've got a new bloom that's opened, but I'll do that as a separate video tomorrow. I'm hoping to hear from Lynn, who is now up in Birmingham. Hopefully she'll give me an update on how it's all going at some point. She won't be watching my videos, so she'll have to volunteer up her end. But yes, hopefully everything's going okay up there with the setup, getting the display ready, and also the judging. I think there's 12 individual judging teams of which she will be part, and my friend Alan will be as well. For my part, I don't join in until Saturday, when I go and get all my paperwork and my wristband and things like that for me and Hannah. And then Sunday we'll be off up there as well to see what's going on and pack the plants up and bring them home. So no Sunday chat this week, and I won't do it on Saturday. We'll probably just miss out this week. And then hopefully we will put together some clips from the show on the Sunday, and perhaps I'll post those on Monday. I don't normally post a video on Monday, but missing out the Sunday chat, yeah, we'll do the clips from the show as Monday's video. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.